Sawadika, this is Thailand today and I am Kusumayo Thasamut. South Africa is one of the largest economy in Africa. And also it is Thailand's the biggest trading partner in Africa. South Africa and Thailand have enjoyed their diplomatic ties for more than 20 years. And their relationship goes strong as the majority of Thai rice goes to South Africa between 2010 and 2011. 75% of rice in South Africa was imported from Thailand at roughly over 500,000 tons. For general trading, Thailand's exports to South Africa increased by 24% in 2011 and 27% in 2012. Reflecting a growth trend that is expected to expand. South Africa celebrates its Freedom's Day on April 27th. And this year, Thailand today has been invited to participate in the joyful event. We would like to take this opportunity to look back at the relationship between these two countries and their trade across the Indian Ocean. We are honored to have Her Excellency Ms. Robina Marks of the Republic of South Africa, Ambassador to Thailand, with us today. Your Excellency, thank you so much. Again and again, you've been supporting me so much, so thank you very much for coming. Well, I would love to start off with you as a female ambassador and living in Thailand. So how is it to you, again, about the being a women ambassador in Thailand?
Sawadika. Firstly, let me thank you very warmly again for giving me this opportunity to share some of our experiences here in Thailand as South Africans with you. Yes. You have been such a dear and close friend. And I want to say that because it's also my final year in this beautiful country. But you asked me a very interesting question. And the question is about what it's like to be a woman ambassador living in Thailand. I must say that before I met Thai women, I was a little bit worried. But there are so many Thai women who are very strong, very independent, very assertive, but also very beautiful. Women like yourself, in fact. And so I've always felt very comfortable in my role as a female ambassador because I think it also reminds other women that they can also achieve a position such as this. But so far it has only been an honor and a privilege in particular to be a female ambassador. And with my other female ambassadors here in Thailand, we've been able to do quite a lot of work to make sure that we act as role models, but also as people who speak on behalf of women's empowerment and gender equality here in Thailand.
Thank you. I take it as a compliment, Your Excellency. Actually, in what field that we do have a trading and investment?
Yes. It's mostly from outside. Yes. We export automotive car parts to Thailand. In fact, viewers might know that South Africa has the only Mercedes-Benz car manufacturing plant for Mercedes-Benz C-Class. So we are well known when it comes to, producers of good quality motor vehicles. You've mentioned the issue of rice.
Yes.
South Africa loves Thai rice. As very strongly established within our markets. But as a proposal from my side, I would suggest to any exporters to begin to think about exporting sticky rice, glutinous rice.
Really?
Because it's becoming one of the favorite desserts, sticky rice and mango. But also with the growing trends in healthy and conscious eating, people prefer brown rice as well. So maybe expand what it is that you are exporting to include those two areas. because there are always competitors who's looking to see, you know, how they can enter into the market.
But when you talk about the brown rice, do they go for concentrating on the health issue?
It's because of health issues, yes, because of health issues. South Africa, like many other countries, are struggling with the obesity problem. And so people are looking at how they can reduce, you know, so those would be the two new potential areas, yes.
You are going to celebrate your 27th, on the 27th,
yes.
Surely people will, in your country also recognize and observe, then thinking of the Nobel Prize, Mr. His Excellency Nelson Mandela.
Yes. In fact, we've had a few South Africans who have been recipients of the Nobel Peace Prize. First was in the 60s, Chief Albert Luthuli, and now of course we have Nelson Mandela as well, was awarded the Peace Prize. And he very sadly passed away last year. It was a very difficult moment for us because he was the father of our nation, the father of our democracy. And in fact, of course, he came to Thailand by invitation of His Majesty the King a few years before his death. And he came to give our very warm greetings and respect to His Majesty the King, and to thank the Thai people for the support that they have given us during our difficult days of apartheid. And so one of the photos that I take so much pride in, there's a beautiful photo that we have of His Majesty the King, the father of your nation, and of course Nelson Mandela, the father of our nation, you know, talking together very warmly with each other, and reiterating again our strong relations, but also our mutual commitment, you know, to peace and tolerance between and amongst our people. So very, very proud moment for us it was.
How do they celebrate in your country? That particular Freedom Day. When the word Freedom Day is, you know, is something.
I know. You know, Freedom Day is very important across the world for many nations, because the fact that we were able to overcome apartheid was because of the support and the solidarity from many, many countries, including Thailand. You know, countries like England, like the US, like Cuba, like Thailand, who said that we will not be involved, we will not do business with a government who is unjust and who discriminates against people on the color of their skin. And so we have 125 missions across the world, and you will find that our reception, and I hope the other ambassadors will forgive me for saying this, but our receptions are usually eagerly awaited. Because there is such a sense of world celebration that we've been able to overcome the difficulties of the past and live in freedom and democracy, in justice and in fairness today. So it's a joyful day for us. It's a day in which we celebrate what we have become. We are a young democracy, only 21 years old this year. And if our democracy was a child, we would say this child is now coming of age, you know, and growing into an adult. So, but we are sure that whatever challenges will come, Nelson Mandela have given us the tools to deal with them as they come up.
Now you say that, I have to feel, you know, South Africa is something age-old, much more than Thailand.
Yes.
I know, but our relationship is maybe a little bit fresh, but still we keep on doing that. But how about tourism? You have a vast country, and to me, and I'm sure because the people who have visited South Africa must have deep, you know, feeling that you have everything. Like what?
Absolutely. South Africa is one of those countries that you have to put on your list of of what you must do and what you must visit. It's an extraordinary, beautiful country. It's a country that, of course, have one of the 7 new wonders of the world, which is Table Mountain. It's a country where you can taste the most amazing wine. because we have a viticulture that goes back more than 300 years. As a country that has been called the cradle of humankind, because the oldest fossils, that has ever been discovered was discovered in South Africa. And as a country where you can do all kinds of things, whether it's diving, shark diving with sharks, whether it is just getting to know some of our heritage, some of the richness of our culture, experience what it's like to dance, to do a tribal dance, with a Zulu dance group. We are very proud of our culture. So as a country of contrast, the weather is really quite good. We don't get snow except for a very small part of South Africa, but the weather is very Mediterranean. And of course, you get more out of your butt, because our exchange rate is far more favorable than the exchange rate with the UK pound or with the US dollars, for example. But we encourage people to come, because they will be able to do a wine safari. Not only drink our wonderful wine, in fact, we've got the longest wine route in the world.
It is so.
The longest wine route in the world. But very few people who start on the wine route is able to finish the wine route, because they start off tasting and then they end up drinking. But apart from that, of course, we also have the Big Five. We have a huge national park called the Kruger National Park, which is larger than Wales, larger than Switzerland, very, very big. And that's also where you'll be able to see the African elephant and the rhinoceros,
The Big Five.
The Big Five, yes. And having mentioned, the African elephant, of course, we are so pleased to see that Thailand has now put into place measures to curb illegal poaching, and illegal selling of elephant tusks. We have not had a poaching problem of elephants in South Africa for more than a decade now, for more than 10 years, because we have put into place very strong mechanisms to ensure that our elephants are protected. And so these are some of the things that we think that we can share with you, with Thailand. How were we able to protect our elephants from getting poached, because it's not a problem for us. And if you do come to the Kruger National Park, we have about 17,000 African elephants. And so, you'd be able to interact with these animals who are so deeply spiritual and connects us so closely, as people who care about the environment and care about how we look after our own, whether it's elephants, whether it's rhinos, tigers, cheetahs, etc.
Tell me, what is the punishment in case that they find out, trying Thailand, as you said, Thailand to do, but how about, we have a really, punishment is quite high now because of the new law. How about yours?
It's the same for us, because we take it very seriously. This is the heritage of our children. We don't want a child to be told that long ago, elephants roamed the fields of Thailand or South Africa. And so we take it as a priority crime for us. And we take it very, very seriously. But at the same time, prevention is always better than cure.
Yes.
And it's a good thing, because in South Africa we have not had poaching for more than a decade. Although I did hear that just a week ago, one elephant bull was killed. And I'm a little bit worried about that, but we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it very, very, very strongly. Yes.
To you, do you feel that the elephant is something like Thai, because Thai thought it's a sacred, and because it's like a grandparents to us. How about the feeling of this? Such a feeling, is that with African people, South African people? No.
Yes. We don't have the same significance as you attach, except to say that we are very deeply connected to the land. to those who had walked the path before us. And so, so for us, elephants have a particular place in our hearts because they are almost, they connect us to the land, you know, but they also have very human qualities. You know, elephants are able to cry, you know, they mourn for their dead, you know, and there's just something about this massive animal that has such a vulnerability, you know, particularly from poachers, you know, that they occupy a very special place in our hearts. But we have the same sense of respect for life, a respect for life, whether it's human or animal, and it's something that we protect as much as we can. And so, as part of that protection, I think that you would recall that the last CITES conference took place here in Bangkok, in Thailand, and Thailand was such a beautiful host. And we will now be hosting CITES in South Africa next year. And so we, at that occasion, we will be able to talk about some of the measures that we have taken to ensure that we comply with the standards that had been set around the protection of wildlife species. So, so it's going to be a good moment, not only to see whether we can match you in hospitality, but which isn't very easy because you are the best at this. No, you are. And then secondly, of course, to report to the world, to say we are transparent, and this is our challenges, and this is what we've been able to implement, and we are still committed to do more.
South Africa is a country where you have mixed races. So how do you manage to live on peacefully and coincide everything?
You know, particularly since 1994, we have had to, because we come from a history where black people were not allowed to occupy particular jobs, you know, to have access to decent housing, etc. And of course, after 1994, we now have a constitution that speaks to non-discrimination, not only on the basis of race, but also sex, also gender, and sexual orientation. Now, those kind of things are very important for us. So, same-sex marriages is something that happens and that we allow in South Africa, because we say that once you have tasted discrimination, you will not turn, you know, your face away from any other form of discrimination. And so we have been able to live together in a society that is diverse, but is also grappling with its own challenges. Because whilst you can legislate apartheid, you know, out of people's heads, you have to also work on their hearts as well. So that you have to teach people that we all have the same wishes and desires as human beings, irrespective of the color of our skin. But you know, I must tell you something else that's also quite fascinating that few people know. There is evidence of ties in South Africa that dates back to the 1900s. And our slave records tell us that ties were shipped from Ayutthaya to work as laborers. In fact, they were shipped by the Dutch East India Company from Ayutthaya to Cape Town.
What an inside story now.
What, absolutely. I was amazed. And so when you look at because of course slavery was still in place then. And slavery, of course, was abolished in Thailand, you know, during the reign of, I think it was King Rama IV who abolished, I'm not sure, who abolished slavery. The fifth. Yeah, he abolished slavery in Thailand. And so if you look at our records, you will see a Thai name from Siam, you know, so what a wonderful, well, it's a sad way to be connected, you know, because of the way in which people came, Thai people came to South Africa from the beginning. But what an interesting moment in which we discover our shared heritage, you know, as a people, it really reminds us that we are interdependent, that we are connected, that we are part of a common humanity, and that historically there may even be moments, you know, where our paths crossed with each other. So our relations go back to far more than 21 years. Yes, very, very interesting.
Any witness or any evidence to show off that?
We have evidence.
What are they?
We've got records.
You have recorded?
We've got records that shows these are Thai people, and of course it was called Siam at the time, the date of their arrival, when they were registered, when they arrived in Cape Town in South Africa. In the same, of course, in the same way that we also have Malays and Indonesians who came to South Africa, also, and Chinese people as indentured laborers, you know, because remember, because gold was discovered, you know, and South Africa was a colony at the time, you know, a Dutch colony at the time, and so you find ways in which our paths connected with each other.
Your Excellency, this part is very helpful to know it, and also very good. You can make it as a what do you call the traced back to the tourism. Start there. Another channel for that.
Absolutely. Maybe Ayutthaya to Cape Town.
A
heritage trail. Yes.
And I'm sure because the people who are watching our program hardly know about it, because we thought South Africa at the time also slavery is there, but still you still need slaves from other part of the world also.
But also, you know, the fact that the visionary leadership of King Rama, the fifth, you know, who abolished slavery, who said that this is wrong, this is not how human beings should be treated, you know, and so it's also part of honoring his legacy, you know, within Thai history, and it's something that I think that Thai people, I'm sure, are very proud of.
I consider this as a real inside story, you know, for this. Well, we have a few minutes left, and I would like you to convey your message on the Freedom Day to be held on 27th, please.
Yes, perhaps let me just say one thing, if I may, just about Thai Africa. I was so pleased to read in the newspaper that General Prayut, when he spoke yesterday at the conference, the Asia-Africa conference in Bandung, he made a very strong point to say that that Africa and Thailand have to forge closer relations. And for me, as the Dean of the African Ambassadors in Thailand, I was particularly keen to hear that, because he said that he wants to make sure that we strengthen our relations economically even more. And I really just want to thank him for that visionary leadership, because Africa and Asia, and Africa and Thailand, you know, we need to work together to the mutual benefit for our people. But now onto our Freedom Day. Our Freedom Day, of course, it will be the 21st anniversary of our National Day, and we will be gathering about 800 people who will be coming to celebrate our National Day with dance, with song, with speeches, and it will really be a day in which we reaffirm again the close relationship between Thailand and South Africa. And of course, you will be one of our special guests, so we look very forward to receiving you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So Thailand today would like to extend our appreciation to the Ambassador of the Republic of South Africa to Thailand, Her Excellency Ms. Robina Marks, for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Then let's say goodbye together, sir.
สวัสดีค่ะ